Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you with a simple message that demands action and reflection. No excuses, only results. We live in a world that often looks for reasons, justifications, and excuses for why things don't work out the way we expect. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming circumstances, other people, or even fate. But today, I urge you to put away those excuses and realize something profound. The only thing standing between you and your goals is you. Personal responsibility is at the core of every great success story. The moment we begin to point fingers at others is the moment we give up our power to change. The path to achievement is paved not by circumstances, but by the choices we make. No one else can walk your path for you. No one else can make the sacrifices or face the challenges you must face. The only question that matters is, are you willing to take responsibility for your life? In this journey, we are often confronted with the need to pair our faith with action. Yes, it's important to believe in the dream, in the goal, in the calling you have on your life. But belief without effort is just a wish. We need to walk step by step with dedication, purpose, and hard work, knowing that it is not enough to simply desire success. We must commit ourselves fully, with every fiber of our being, to seeing that dream through. Faith is the spark, but it is the action that keeps the fire burning. Now I want to speak to those of you who face obstacles. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us. Perhaps you face setbacks, disappointments, or even failures. But hear this, you are not defined by those moments. You are defined by how you rise, how you press forward when the world tells you to quit. The most successful people are not those who have never fallen, but those who, despite every setback, stand back up and keep moving forward. You see, the world is filled with excuses, but it's also filled with people who say, no more. Excuses, only results. The time for waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect opportunity is over. Today is the day to take action. Today is the day to commit yourself fully to your dreams, to your goals, to your purpose. The road will not always be easy. There will be times when it seems like the odds are stacked against. But remember, it is not the external obstacles that determine your success. It is your internal resolve, your determination, your unwavering commitment to see things through. So I challenge you today, look in the mirror. Are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to step up and take full responsibility for your life and your future? The results you seek are within your grasp, but they require something from you. They require action. They require sacrifice. They require unwavering faith and relentless effort. Personal responsibility is the foundation upon which every success is built. And it starts with the realization that we are the architects of our own lives, shaping our futures with the choices we make every single day. For the power to create a meaningful life is not in the hands of others, nor is it in the whims of fate, but in our own decisions and actions. Because each thought we entertain, each word we speak, and each step we take either draws us closer to our goals or pushes us farther away. And it's in these daily moments that our character is shaped. Not in grand gestures, but in the small, often unseen decisions that set the tone for our lives. Reminding us that if we want something to change, we must first change ourselves, taking full ownership of our thoughts, actions, and even our failures. Because every setback is an opportunity to learn. And every triumph, no matter how small, is a direct result of our commitment to take responsibility for the circumstances we find ourselves in. For we cannot change what has already happened, but we can control how we respond, how we rise from the ashes of our past, and how we move forward with the intention to do better, to be better, and to serve the greater good. And when we begin to own our mistakes instead of blaming others, when we begin to acknowledge our weaknesses without making excuses for them, we take the first step toward real freedom. The freedom to grow, to improve, and to become the person we are meant to be. For without responsibility, there can be no true progress, because nothing worthwhile ever comes from avoiding responsibility or shifting blame. And it is only when we embrace the power of personal responsibility that we truly understand the depth of our potential. Knowing that the key to unlocking our dreams is not in waiting for external factors to change, but in the internal shift that occurs when we take full control of our journey. Holding ourselves accountable for our actions, our progress, and even our setbacks. And recognizing that in doing so, we open the door to limitless possibilities. Faith and effort is the unwavering belief that true success comes not from passive hope or idle waiting, but from actively engaging with the work required to bring our dreams to life. For it's easy to say we believe in something, But the real test of faith is not in our words or intentions, but in the actions we take and the effort we put forth, because belief without action is nothing more than empty wishing. And it is through our effort that belief transforms into tangible results. For it is not enough to simply have faith in the outcome. We must have faith in the process, knowing that every step, no matter how small, is part of the journey, and that each moment of effort, even when unseen or unappreciated, is a seed being planted for the future. And when we truly embrace this truth, we find that even in the face of hardship, even when the road is long and the obstacles seem insurmountable, our faith in the effort itself keeps us moving forward. For it's the dedication, persistence, and commitment to doing the work day after day that separates those who succeed from those who merely dream. And as we put in the effort, with full trust in the process, we grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling the challenges that come our way, understanding that faith isn't just about believing the end result is possible, but about believing in our ability to push through the difficult, to overcome the setbacks, and to keep moving with determination, knowing that effort compounds, that each day of hard work is a step closer to our goal. And that through perseverance, through continued effort, we turn the invisible into the visible, the intangible, and the impossible into the possible. For faith and effort is the belief that the grind, the sweat, the labor is never wasted, that every ounce of energy spent is contributing to the masterpiece of our future. And when we hold on to this truth, we find the courage to press forward even when doubt arises, to trust in the value of our actions, even when immediate results are not apparent. Because faith and effort teaches us that the process itself is the reward, and that success isn't an event, but a journey that unfolds one act of faith at a time. Overcoming obstacles is not about avoiding the challenges that life throws our way, but rather about facing them head on with unwavering courage and an unshakable determination to push through. For every obstacle we encounter is not a barrier, but an opportunity to rise higher, to grow stronger, and to prove to ourselves that we are capable of overcoming anything life throws at us. Because obstacles are not roadblocks, but stepping stones on the path to success. And when we view them through the lens of possibility, we begin to see that each struggle, no matter how difficult, is simply a part of the journey that builds our character and prepares us for the greater things to come. And while it may be easy to succumb to frustration, despair, or fear when faced with adversity, we must remember that the greatest accomplishments are often birthed from the greatest challenges. For it is only by facing our obstacles with resilience, grit, and determination that we discover what we are truly made of. And it is through these battles that we learn the most valuable lessons, gaining wisdom, strength, and perseverance that cannot be earned through ease or comfort, but only through struggle. For in the midst of difficulty, we find the power to transform ourselves, and with each obstacle we overcome, we become more equipped to handle the next, understanding that no matter how many setbacks we face, we are never defeated until we choose to give up. And even when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when the climb seems too steep and the darkness too overwhelming, it is in those moments that we must dig deeper, tap into that reservoir of strength that lies within us, and take the next step forward. For overcoming obstacles is not about avoiding pain or hardship, but about embracing the process, understanding that the road may be long, but each step brings us closer to our goal, and with each obstacle we overcome, we become more than we were before, more capable, more resilient, and more prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead, because in the end, the ability to overcome obstacles is not defined by how easy the path is, but by how resolutely we continue to move forward in the face of adversity, knowing that each trial, each challenge is merely a test of our resolve, and that as long as we keep going, we will emerge victorious on the other side.